everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Viper Falls A Week in the Life. These next two episodes are actually going to focus on two Sims, two sisters, Donna Jo and Delilah. So let's do a little background on this family. The family was struck by tragedy when Donna Jo and Delilah were children. There was a big fire, and their mom died, and their uncle died. It was really traumatic. So they were raised by a single father. This man right here, he is Clarence, and he, like Campbell, is very hyper focused on creating the first servo in Viper Falls. He doesn't know that Campbell's actually beat him. I mean, like, she wrote it down. She has it documented that she was first. But he has a hunch, and he's also like, I think there's some alien stuff going on with that family. You know, something weird is going on. Joe Carr just recently published a novel that was a thinly veiled version of his family's story. He published it as fiction, but Delilah and Clarence are both kind of like, where there's smoke, there's fire. And Joe Carr seemed to know a lot about aliens. Clarence was a video game designer. He is now retired. And yeah, there's also a third sister, Dua. She is out of the house. She is living in an apartment with her cousin, Dallas. And we'll get to Dallas and Dua in the last two episodes. Donna Jo and Delilah are very similar, but also very different. They're both kind of alternative. They both have tattoos. But Donna Jo kind of took on the mother role after her mom passed, and she stayed home and helped raise her two younger sisters. She's been in a dance studio. She's currently entangled with this man, Ted Mendoza, who's kind of a loser. He's a scientist, but he won't commit to her. He thinks he is much hotter than he is. Like right now, he just peed himself in front of the toilet. Shook off his little leg. Okay, Ted Mendoza, you're gonna go back and clean that up. He's just gonna go to work. Like, that's the type of guy he is. He probably smells horrible right now, and he's just walking to work thinking about how he just peed his pants. Anyway, Donna Jo, for some reason, had a baby with this man. It was some type of like secret underground competition she was doing with her little sister Delilah. There was a lot of tension in the household when Delilah decided to go to college. Donna Jo skipped college to stay home and take care of her sisters and her father. And she was kind of under the impression that her sisters would follow suit and they'd all stay home and take care of their dad. But Delilah actually shook things up by deciding to go to college. She said, I want to live my life. So Delilah went to university. She's much more independent. She is a nurse. She is married to Anthony Desperate. Anthony did put a ring on it, unlike Ted. And they got married in a nice small ceremony. And they also have a child together. So Delilah got engaged and pregnant before Donna Jo. And that obviously triggered something in Donna Jo because she rushed out, brought home Ted, moved him in. But again, Ted won't commit to her. Ted's kind of like around town. He kind of has a reputation of a slime ball. The family did come into a lot of money following all the deaths of their mother and their uncle. So the family has a lot of money. Clarence had a really successful career as a video game designer. So there's this weird tension between Donna Jo and Delilah, and Donna Jo is almost resentful of Delilah, like she feels Delilah is living the life that Donna Jo always wanted to live. But the thing is, the gag is, Donna Jo could always live that life. No one ever asked her to stay home, no one asked her to be the mother, she just kind of took it on. And now, of course, her little sisters are grown up, and Donna Jo's kind of having a midlife crisis. She's like, oh, I spent my whole life caring for other people and foregoing my dreams, and for what? And her dad, Clarence, is such a nice guy, but he's been very depressed. Obviously, it was a huge toll on him to go from a full house of helpers helping raise the girls to just him. But he did a good job raising the girls. He's a great dad. He is just very, very focused on creating a servo right now. Donna Jo and Anthony are eating breakfast together. Donna Jo's very cold to Anthony. He thinks she's very attractive, but she's very cold to him. Again, I think there's some underlying jealousy going on there. Ooh, and Donna Jo is now fit from all her jump rope. Donna Jo and Delilah both have just given birth to their respective babies. And Delilah is really worried about Donna Jo. She feels like Donna Jo is one step away from a mental breakdown, but Donna Jo, as you can see, is in platinum aspiration. So she's like, I'm doing fine. Donna Jo is calling her sister a hater. She's like, I'm doing actually much better than you. Maybe I just don't want to be married, even though Delilah knows that's not true. She knows Donna Jo wants to be married so badly. But Donna Jo never really dated prior to Ted. Again, she was busy helping raise her little sisters. So Ted was kind of the first guy that showed interest in her, and Donna Jo kind of just jumped on that. Donna Jo and Delilah had a falling out when Delilah went to college. They didn't speak for a few years, but when Delilah moved back home, all is well, and they're kind of mending that sisterhood friendship. But again, Delilah can't help feeling that Donna Jo is just so resentful of Delilah for living her life. And Delilah is like, nothing is stopping you, Donna Jo, from living your own life. Oh my gosh, the puppies are always stinky. Delilah gave birth to a daughter, Evie, and Donna Jo gave birth to a son, Edward. Evie and Edward are roughly the same age. I think Evie's a few months older, but they're pretty much the same age. Like I said, Donna Jo got pregnant pretty much immediately after Delilah, and soon after Delilah moved in, her boyfriend, or I guess husband, Donna Jo went and picked up a random man, Ted Mendoza, and moved him in. So Delilah's like, don't you think it's kind of weird that Ted just kind of showed up here? Speak of the devil, he is home from work. He is a scientist. He works underneath Campbell in her laboratory, or he did. Campbell retired in Dean's story, if we recall. Anthony is a successful restaurateur, so I think that means that he oversees and manages a lot of hip and trendy restaurants in the area. As you can see, Clarence is kind of absent-minded. He was eating old food, and Delilah was distracted, also eating the old food. Clarence is kind of like half in, half out, and then he goes and he tinkers with his little robots because, like I said, he is obsessed with building a servo. Unlike Campbell, Clarence isn't as concerned with being the first sim. He just kind of wants to make his own. And there have been rumblings that there's a servo at Campbell's house. Donna Jo and Delilah spend a lot of time in the backyard fishing. It's one of the family's favorite pastimes. Prior to the big fire years ago, the family would always fish, and then they didn't really go near the pond for a while because the memories were too hard, but now they're back into it. And even Ted shows up sometimes, but Ted isn't as skilled as the girls are, which clearly hurts his ego. The family also infamously have 3 dogs, 2 black labs, and a little mutt. They love having dogs. Prior to the fire, it was a full house, both sets of grandparents, 2 siblings living there. Charlie, their aunt, has moved out. The fire really wiped out the family. So they adopted quite a few dogs after, just kind of to fill the house up because it's such a big house and it was painfully silent following those fires. And obviously that trauma affected all the girls differently. I believe Delilah was a toddler when it happened, Donna Jo was a child, and their youngest sister, Dua, was only a baby. So Dua doesn't even remember the mom. She does not even remember anything. Delilah is a little frustrated that Ted Mendoza is out here fishing with them. She's like, Donna Jo, I wanted to bond with you. I don't want this weird man hanging around, but it is what it is. Ted cannot read the room to save his life. He just thinks the girls are bonding. He can't understand how he might be overstaying his welcome. And it's not necessarily that he's overstaying his welcome or that he's not allowed in the house. It's just the way he moved in to Donna Jo's house, got her pregnant, but then still won't really commit. Like, he won't even claim Donna Jo as his girlfriend, which Delilah is like, that is a huge red flag. When I got pregnant, Anthony proposed immediately, and when you got pregnant, Ted just gave you a thumbs up.
That's Ulam.
So Delilah's coming from a place of love and genuine concern for her sister, but Donna Jo is still a little angry at Delilah for living the life she chose to live. Again, irrational anger, but anger nonetheless. So Donna Jo is like, you're just being a hater. You're just mad that I'm not, like, you know what I mean, devoting all my time to you and do it anymore. And Delilah's like, no, I'm a grown woman. I don't need you to devote all your time to me. I just want you to find a love that's genuine and date someone who values you and appreciates you. And Delilah is just like, Ted is not that guy.
That's
Even now, Delilah is doing like all the heavy lifting, all the conversation, while Donna Jo just kind of disassociates and fishes. And Delilah's like, see, I'm trying. I'm being polite to your baby daddy, but I can be polite and still think you can do better. And then Donna Jo is, of course, bringing up the death of their mother, as she tends to do whenever the conversation doesn't really go her way. Despite being the oldest, I actually think Donna Jo is probably the least mature out of the three. I think Delilah is eons more mature than her, and Delilah just kind of understands you get one life and you gotta do what you want. No one's gonna do it for you. Whereas Donna Jo, I feel, has always kind of been waiting for someone to swoop in and save her. And for some reason, she thinks Ted Mendoza is doing that. But again, Ted is a loser, and he is not saving anyone, not even himself. I do think Ted is a good father, so at least Donna Jo picked a good man for that. He's just afraid of commitment and refuses to claim her as his girlfriend, which is kind of crazy because they have a child together, and again, he lives in her family's mansion. The great tragedy of losing his wife. He never remarried. He just devoted himself to taking care of the girls and working at his job. And now he is retired. And we can see from his wants right here that he really wants a relative to get engaged and get married. And I'm presuming that relative is Donna Jo.
Ram. Evelolava. Kravisi. Viram. Ufama. Ipia. Ipia. Giti.
And the house is kind of in a bit of chaos. The dogs always need baths, the babies always need to be fed and changed, but there's enough Sims going around that it's always done. But yeah, the house is always a little messy, a little lived in. There's just a lot going on with 3 dogs, let's see, 5 adults and 2 babies.
Ura bath. Homa.
Donna Jo is always making sure to clean everything up. Like I said, she feels like she's the head of the household. Again, no one told her to be head of the household. No one asked her to be in charge. She kind of just appointed herself that. And now she is finally in love with Ted. I'm not sure what happened. I'm not sure why they weren't in love before. But now she's in love with Ted. They're both romance sims, so I guess Donna Jo really is content with not being engaged. But I like to play it kind of as two versions of the romance sims. There's a womanizer sim like Ted, then I think Donna Jo is more of a hopeless romantic. And she's like, okay, I have a kid with Ted. Oh, and Evie just grew from a baby to a toddler. Let's go ahead and give her a little makeover.
He's a brilliant brother.
She looks just like Delilah. I love it.
Where's he, Roof? Hello, Roof. Oh, the poor soul.
And it looks like we need to order some groceries. This family goes through so many groceries so quickly. Do not fear, Donna Jo has some fish that she can go ahead and make. And then Anthony is home from work. He earned 1,300 simoleons today. Like I said, he is a very successful businessman. Donna Jo actually has a fear of being engaged to Ted. I don't think it's a fear of being engaged. I think she's afraid to ask. Like, she's afraid it's never going to happen. And that's how I'm playing the game. And it's my game, so I can play it however I want. And it fits my story. Ted doesn't even think about engagement. It's not even on his radar. He's like, why would that even be a possibility? Like, we're just having fun. He's in his 30s, has a child, and he's like, I'm just having fun. When the food's sparkly, it fills their food meter up all the way. And the sparkly food comes from fresh produce or the fish. And that's why the family is so big on fishing. They're really big on health and just eating healthy. Especially their mom, Calliope, who passed away when the girls were younger. Calliope didn't pass in the same fire that claimed Cyrus's life, but I kind of group it all together because I do believe their grandmother passed away, and then their mom passed away, and then Cyrus passed away, all within the same 24 hours. So we're just going to group it all under as a big chaotic fire that took them all, really traumatized the family. It made them closer, but they didn't really talk about the trauma. They just kind of sat at home, avoiding it and being depressed. And Clarence works best at night when he can be left alone. He is in the zone right now. Like I said, he was a game developer his whole life. He loves tinkering. I think it's interesting that Clarence is more of a video game guy, whereas Campbell is a science girl, but they're both very interested in servos and how they work. And they were the first two in Viper Falls to kind of realize, oh, this might be possible. And because Clarence is the only one awake right now, we're going to go ahead and have him potty train little Evie for a little bit. Because he is a good grandfather, he's just kind of emotionally distant. He's emotionally scarred, but he's still trying to be active and present in everyone's lives. Donna Jo sleeps in her late Uncle Cyrus's old bedroom. Again, Donna Jo was the oldest when the tragedy struck the family, and Donna Jo was the closest to Cyrus, so that really hit her hard, losing her mother and her favorite uncle at the same time, essentially. And then we are finally putting Ted to work and making him mop up some pee puddles because he didn't mop up his own before he went to work earlier. He is a scholar, not a top secret scientist like Campbell is, so he is just below Campbell. He's not privy to all the secret things that Campbell got to learn about Viper Falls. And again, Ted is a bit of an odd duck. He woke up in the middle of the night to take a bath and just kind of have some me time. I think he's a very independent man, so I'm not really sure why, again, he decided to shack up with Donna Jo and have a child for. And then we have Miss Evie is playing with her favorite toy as her cousin Edward sleeps next to her. It is the end of summer. Fall is going to start closing in on the family. Not much is happening right now, but please stay tuned because, as I said, this season gets more and more dramatic with each episode. Anthony and Delilah cuddle all night, unlike Ted, like I said, jumps up as soon as he can.
Stethoscope.
And now it is 5 a.m. Baby Edward is crying. Donna Jo's gonna go ahead and get him fed and changed and ready for the day. Donna Jo is a dance instructor at the local gym. She's worked this job forever. She loved dancing growing up, but now it's become a job for her, and the passion's kind of gone. And she regrets not chasing her dreams more. There's not much room for her to advance in the dance career in Viper Falls. Donna Jo is envious of Delilah's career and just the risk that Delilah has taken in her life. Donna Jo wishes that she could take more risks, but alas, the biggest risk she has taken is taking a chance on Ted Mendoza. And that hasn't really paid off, although she's not going to admit it, but Ted is kind of a lonely lover, and at times Donna Jo does feel more like a single mom. But that's okay. At least that's what Donna Jo tells herself. Donna Jo, like I said, never had a boyfriend growing up, so she's not too experienced in dating, and she kind of just latched onto the first guy that showed her any interest. But she is a successful, talented, gorgeous woman, and I know if she put herself out there, she would have men just knocking on the door. Ted is off to work again. He doesn't work that many hours, but he does work 5 days a week. He gets home just after lunchtime each day. But Donna Jo feels like their schedules kind of conflict at the moment. She teaches a lot of night classes at the gym. And Clarence is just hard at work on this servo. He has a renewed passion for it. He is in the zone, as y'all can see. He is determined to build this, not only for himself, but for his family. He wants to make sure that his family is taken care of after he's gone, and he knows that building a servo will ensure that the family is always taken care of, they're always respected, and they will always have money. Like I said, he is just cranking it out. He is a family sim, even though he's very quiet. And he has built his first servo. Just to shake things up, he decided to make a female servo, and he has named her Fancy Nancy. The female counterpart to Mr. Worldwide, if you will. And Fancy Nancy is quite fancy. Look at those eyelashes and look at that bow. And we are off to the races, y'all. I can tell Clarence is patting himself on the back. He is so thrilled. He knows that this is going to change his family's life. Even if they're a bit horrified at first, they're like, what did you create? What is going on? And Fancy Nancy is just getting to work immediately, taking out the trash, cleaning up the house. And now Clarence knows that he can rest easy, that his family will always have a robot. And this game is actually a career reward that Clarence got for getting to the top of the gaming track. Now that Clarence has built his servo, he's like, wow, I have a lot of free time. He's kind of out of his trance, looking around the house, trying to pick up where he can. Clarence was the one who adopted multiple dogs following the family tragedies, so he's going to make sure the dogs are well taken care of. And like I said, this is a big mansion. I think this is probably the biggest house in Viper Falls at the moment. So it takes a lot of work to keep it organized. It's not like Dean's house where the butler ran out of things to do, especially with 2 babies, 3 dogs. There is always something to clean, always something to do in this house. Donna Jo's gonna go ahead and eat the rest of her leftovers from the fish she made the night before. It is still sparkling, it still tastes amazing, and her hunger is just lighting all the way up. She really wants to have 2 loves at once, and I don't think it's because she wants to cheat on Ted. I just think she's not feeling very valued with Ted, so she thinks if another man or woman, Donna Jo's open, she thinks if another sim falls in love with her, it might make Ted realize how good she is. Of course, that's not a very good plan. I don't think Ted's ever gonna realize how good he has it. He's riding on her coattails here, doing the bare minimum in the house, just kind of peeing his pants, waking up. I don't know. He's not even really offering her emotional support. Donna Jo is going to drive her nice, gorgeous car to work, her Land Rover. And then Anthony's going to go ahead and get some more groceries because the family has been slacking off fishing for so long. They don't have enough fish to stock the fridge at the moment. Anthony is much more involved in the day-to-day household, and Ted just got promoted to top secret researcher. So Campbell has just retired, and then Ted has now taken over her job, and he's little by little each day, he's learning more and more that there's more than meets the eye in Vapor Falls. There's a lot going on behind the scenes, a lot of secrets that all the Sims aren't necessarily privy to. The weight of knowing what's really going on, knowing that aliens exist and such in Viper Falls, is going to maybe do a number on Ted. He might be a loser, but he is very intelligent. And Fancy Nancy is the best. She is putting Edward back on the crib. I believe the butler just kind of threw him on the crib. Even though there are butlers and servos taking care of the babies, I do think that Donna Jo and Delilah are pretty hands-on parents, and they are pretty active with their girls. And then Clarence and Ted are fishing outside. Ted's trying to kind of decompress after work. He's learning a lot of knowledge. He's like, do you ever wonder what kind of makes us tick? Do you ever wonder if we're living in a simulation? And Clarence is like, you know? I have. Because, again, he's the video game designer. He built the robot. Clarence kind of understands there's more mechanics at work. But now that Clarence has built his robot, he does just want to relax and fish and kind of enjoy nature and his family life. Fancy Nancy is absolutely addicted to the video game that Clarence brought home from his job. Delilah immediately takes a bath after getting home from work at the hospital. And that puppy desperately needs a bath, so I think someone should go ahead and do that soon. Delilah, baby, you can reach her. Yes. So yeah, Delilah is intent on building up Evie's skills, making sure that she learns how to walk, talk, and use the potty before she ages into a child. I don't think Delilah met all her skills growing up because there was all the trauma going on, so it's really important for Delilah to give her daughter a better childhood than the one she had. And then we just have Delilah is teaching Evie how to walk in heels, no less. And then Clarence is outside fishing with Ted, and he's like, Ted's pretty hot. I think Clarence does swing both ways. He never really got to explore that because he was married for so long and then just never remarried. But like I said, everybody in the town thinks Ted is cute. Well, not everybody. Well, Ted thinks he's cute, and he is cute, but like, Ted thinks highly of himself. And then Clarence went ahead inside to start making dinner. And he made some bread for dinner. Let's see who's hungry. Ted's pretty hungry, so he'll come and eat. Delilah's okay. She's still teaching Evie her skills. And then there's the butler with little baby Edward. Oh, there's Ted being a class act as always, just farting all over the food. Or at least he's cleaning up after himself after he farted all over the food. I hope no one else eats that food. And then after Ted ate some food, he went right back out to start fishing. I think Ted is really upset that the whole family can kind of outfish him, and Ted's always catching boots. Also as Donna Jo, but... Oh, and I never went through Anthony's little inventory. Sometimes the not NPCs, the townies will have cool stuff in their inventory. So he actually had this little electro spear. I deleted the wedding arch. No one else is getting married. Sorry, Donna, Jo, and Ted. It looks like you guys really don't want to be married. Fancy Nancy loves the puppy. Oh, she loves the puppies. She's actually disciplining the puppies right now because he was destroying the furniture. Donna Jo is home from work. And then I noticed it was pretty dark out here, so I went ahead and put some lamps outside just so we could see everybody a little better. And then I was like, that's good. We don't need to do the whole fence right now. And the family does really only spend most of their time over here fishing anyway. Ted and Clarence are chatting about the weather. Ted doesn't really give the family much to work with. They don't really know much about him. Besides that he's a scientist and he got Donna Jo pregnant and he won't marry her. And I know Delilah is cracking up at that he just fell down. Oh, and he fell again. Yeah, Delilah said, I can't watch this. She's gonna go ahead inside. Donna Jo has something to say to Delilah right now. Let's see. Oh, maybe not. Donna Jo was gonna be like, hey, you're being weird to me, but then Donna Jo decided not to say anything. Like I said, she and Delilah had a rough relationship when Delilah went to college. They're both kind of angry at each other right now for different reasons. Delilah thinks Donna Jo is being taken advantage of by Ted Mendoza, and Donna Jo thinks Delilah is just being a hater. Clarence is really into Ted, and also everyone's really disgusted by how Hot Dog smells. Hot Dog is their dog. Evie is snuggled up in bed for the night. Delilah is taking her second bath of the day. All the dogs smell, so Clarence is just gonna go ahead and wash all the dogs really quickly. It is kind of annoying how quickly the dogs will stink. Like, I swear, like, every, 16 hours, once a day, they need a bath. And I'm like, okay, are people out there bathing their dogs once a day? I did download a little chew toy that the dogs can chew on, and it'll boost their hygiene. And I also have an autonomous dog bath thing outside that I just forgot to install for this family, but we'll get them next time. Especially with 3 dogs. I mean, that's like 2 hours every night that Clarence is spending washing the dogs. But maybe Clarence likes doing that because it was his idea to get all the dogs after all the drama that unfolded in the family. Clarence likes being busy. And speaking of being busy,
Toren and him. See, but like cat and Zabadick is thrumming in. Black no Repsy.
we have some cinematic parallels going on with the girls right now. Delilah and her husband, and then Donna, Jo, and Ted. And Clarence is still outside, still washing these dogs. It looks like he still has to do hot dog after this, too. A single dad who works 2 jobs, who loves his dogs and never stops. That's Clarence. I guess he has plenty of free time now because he's created Fancy Nancy and that was his life's work. Here's where it gets juicy. Clarence thinks he was the first one in Viper Falls to make a servo because Campbell hasn't gone public yet with Mr. Worldwide, her servo. But I think in the next round, Campbell's going to actually publish the papers and the proof that she made the first servo. And that's kind of going to be a blow to Clarence's self-esteem because Clarence is really riding the high right now. He made the first servo in Viper Falls. He's going to be known for it. But then it's going to come out. But actually, Campbell beat him to the punch. Fancy Nancy is one of the best nannies in Viper Falls. I think she likes doing it a lot more than Mr. Worldwide does. Oh, and then I just scrolled over and I saw an actual dog fight happening. I was trying to see who it was. I kept seeing Leroy. It looks like Leroy versus Lucy are fighting. Oh my gosh, no. And that made me so sad. That's so sad that they were fighting. Instead of disciplining anyone, Clarence came to come eat some rotten food and then walked away. For some reason, Clarence likes to pass out on the couches instead of his bed. I think he's always like, I'm not tired, but then he falls asleep. These two are super attracted to each other, won't put a ring on it. I know it's killing Donna Jo inside, even though she won't admit it. Donna Jo, in her mind, she's like, Delilah is just jealous of me and Ted because we're so in love and we make out all the time. And Delilah's like, baby, that's not what love is, and you deserve so much better. You deserve the father of your child publicly claiming you. Here's everybody taking care of Edward because who knows what Donna Jo and Ted are getting up to right now. Butler cooked some breakfast. Only Clarence came to the table to eat. Clearly, dinner last night was not a hit. Oh, and there we go again. Clarence is always up late, just tinkering around the house, washing the dogs, always insisting he's not tired and he's not ready for bed. But here he is the next morning, passing out in his breakfast, and then Ted came and just ate next to him. Ted is very smelly, like he always is. Doesn't matter to Donna Jo. She still thinks he is the most handsome sim in Viper Falls, and she thinks she won the lottery by being with him for some reason. And now he's like, I don't recycle. Donna Jo is like, that's not the best for the environment. Ted's like, whatever. And I think he has work today. Yep, he's going to work. And smelling awful. That seems to be a pattern with him. I'm not sure how he hasn't been demoted or reprimanded for always coming to work with literal stink waves coming off of him, but maybe that's just how he smells. Or maybe he puts on a lot of cologne and he hides it. Evie is still asleep. And so is Edward. I really like the little nursery I built for them in this house. I like having the cousins grow up together and be in the same room. When Anthony is coming out to potty train his daughter, Edie, I think Anthony and Delilah make a great parenting team. They're both taking turns trying to be as hands-on with their baby as they can. Anthony is a fortune sim, but he still rolled the one to propose to Delilah. So he has his priorities straight. He's like, yes, I want to make money, but I also want to have my family. But Clarence has just been passed out for a while now. His sleep bar has gone up a little bit, so I think he can eat a little bit. He's just eating and reflecting on his life and his accomplishments. He's like, maybe I should go to the doctor and get it checked out that I'm constantly passing out around the house. But then he's like, no. And I think Mr. Worldwide just walked by in the background, but Clarence had his back to him, so he didn't notice. That's kind of funny. And he can't get up from the table for some reason. He found his way up, and now he's gonna spend his day doing some yard work while Anthony is again bonding with Evie and just being a great father. And then Anthony is gonna start Evie on learning how to talk. And today, Edward will be aging up into a toddler, so then Evie will have someone her own age to play with, another kid in the house. And Clarence is just dedicating all his time to taking care of the garden out front, tending to the yard. Now that he's done building a servo, he has a lot of time to devote to some house cleaning chores and just tidying up around the house, things he never really got to do before because he works such crazy hours as a game developer. And Anthony is heading down to his restaurant to go see how things are running. Clarence is watching TV with Fancy Nancy. He is exhausted, but he is just refusing to go to bed right now, much like a little baby. He keeps insisting that he's fine and actually not tired at all. I think he kind of got used to existing in this panic mode, especially after all the tragedy struck. He really threw himself into working full time, never really letting himself relax because I think he was always afraid if he sat down and relaxed that he would think too much. That seems to be a common theme across these houses. Everybody is really worried about being alone with their thoughts. Delilah's home from work and she brought home her coworker Brandon. They're pretty close, and she immediately takes notice that her dad spent all afternoon landscaping and she is admiring the flowers. Ted is also home from work, and now all of a sudden he is very concerned that he smells, even though he went the entire workday smelling like actual garbage. Delilah is always decompressing by fishing. Evie's down for her afternoon nap. And yeah, Delilah is just outside, still in her work uniform. She caught a nice big bass. Delilah has been fishing in this pond her whole life. It's how she clears her mind, and she can just spend hours out here by herself fishing. One thing about this family, they love to fish. It was her grandfather Braxton who built the pond in the backyard. He was a big nature guy. Leroy and Lulu seem to still be having a bit of beef, but Clarence is going to work hard to make sure they get along now. Those dogs are Clarence's second children. He views them almost as much in high standard as he does his children. Of course, he loves his daughters more, but the dogs are a very close second. Clarence is doing some light housework, making sure all the puppies are fed. Anthony has a chance card you can pause to read.
Che Mendoza. Valinda McCoy. Zompaja? Dikaja? Havan. Yadiga.
I love how there's always so much happening in this house. There's so many Sims and pets that there's always something going on. I really do just like to sit back and watch, especially in the bigger households. So yeah, Delilah is just decompressing, fishing, trying to think of how to talk to Donna Jo about her tumultuous relationship with Ted. And it looks like Fancy Nancy's gonna go ahead and help Edward with his birthday. It's kind of sad. I think the Sim who has the closest relationship with the baby will help them age up. So it's kind of telling that neither Donna Jo nor Ted, well, Donna Jo's at work, she has that, but it's telling that Ted doesn't have a high enough relationship with his own son to throw him a birthday party. And yep, Fancy Nancy just helped Edward age into a toddler. And let's see, he has brown hair. We're going to give him a quick little makeover. After we take a quick look, he looks a lot like Donna Jo. And there he is in his new pajamas. I was not really vibing with the prison stripe jumpsuit. And then Clarence is going to help Evie learn how to talk while Fancy Nancy helps Edward. And this is such a cute little scene. Clarence is a family sim at his core, so even when he was working and stuff, it was still for his family. He always had his family's best interests at heart. He just loves having a big full house, and he's really used to having, daughters, because he has 3 daughters.
Nezawaya? Sai schon?
Nee, na. Oh, man kann halt.
Givolo. Torna basite. Molestia.
While their son is being taught how to speak by a robot, Donna Jo and Ted are busy doing what they do best. They don't really seem to have many other bonding activities. And Edward, I think, is going to go check out his family. We needed to add another little toy for him really quickly. Edward is following his mom around. He was like, it was fun hanging with the robot for a minute, but I want to go see my parents who are passed out. And I think Donna Jo could be a great mom if she wasn't so concerned with Ted. I think she is putting all her energy in the wrong things being a relationship with Ted. Delilah can see the writing on the wall. Delilah can see that Ted will never ever settle down. He's never going to publicly claim Donna Jo, and her heart just breaks for Donna Jo because, like I said, she just wants her sister to have the best in life. She thinks Donna Jo deserves the world, and she knows Ted cannot and will not give that to her. But then Donna Jo is on her own high horse, doesn't want relationship advice from her younger sister Delilah, who she already kind of resents because she feels like Delilah is getting everything she wants out of life. Anthony is home from work. And then Anthony and Delilah also got right down to business when he got home. The difference was Delilah did spend a lot of time with her daughter and fishing and doing hobbies. They're talking about their day. I don't feel like Ted and Donna Jo talk that much. I think I see Anthony and Delilah having a lot of one-on-one discussions. They're always doing other things. I only ever see Ted and Donna Jo in bed.
Pinto alla toast.
Delilah's like, she's hated me ever since I went to college, and she didn't. And Anthony's like, what stopped her from going to college? She's a great speaker. And Delilah's like, that's the point, whatever, you don't get it. Delilah just works herself up into a bit of a tizzy whenever she discusses Donna Jo. I think the wedge between them is getting wider and wider despite living under the same roof. When Delilah first returned home after college, it seemed like things were good again between them, but things definitely started to sour right when Delilah became pregnant with Evie and subsequently engaged and married to Anthony. That kind of led Donna Jo to go out, bring home Ted Mendoza, move him in, kind of to show her sister, see, look, I can get married and have a baby too. Even though, again, to Delilah, it was never a competition. She's just trying to live her life. But when she feels, she brings it up to Donna Jo about Donna Jo's weird competition thing with her. Donna Jo gets even more upset, and the wedge between them just gets wider and wider. I think things have also been a little difficult since their youngest sister Dua moved out. Dua always kind of acted as a buffer between the girls. Dua never wanted or doesn't want a husband and kids. So Dua was always like, you guys are being ridiculous. Dua's also a little bit younger than the two girls. I think Delilah and Donna Jo are about 2 years apart. And then I think Dua's about 5 years younger than Delilah, 7 years younger than Donna Jo. So there's also that just divide between them. I feel like Dua always acted as the referee for the two sisters, helped them work out their differences. But now that Dua's gone, they can kind of just fight forever. And Clarence obviously doesn't know how to separate his two daughters, especially when they're acting like teenagers as adult women, and they're just constantly kind of making jabs at each other, not speaking. Clarence is like, I'm retired. I just want to work on my robots and play my video games and do yard work. I don't want to have to parent you two again. I already single parented all of you. And then I'm just doing a quick touch up on some landscaping outside now that the family has a little bit more money saved up. Evie is absolutely obsessed with Fancy Nancy. She's always following her around the house. Ted will leave Donna Jo alone a lot of the times during the night. She often sleeps alone all throughout the night. At least Ted did get up to kind of help put the babies away. And then Donna Jo woke up too. She's having trouble sleeping. Oh, when did she get pregnant? And I somehow missed the bump, but it looks like Donna Jo is now pregnant with her second child with Ted Mendoza. Still no ring, which again, not a big deal, but Delilah, that is just showing that Ted does not respect her. Delilah knows that Ted tells people at work that he's single despite living in Donna Jo's childhood home with Donna Jo's entire family. Delilah is just not a big fan of Ted at all. Actually, Anthony went out with Ted after work, and Anthony saw Ted kind of flirting with some girls, and he told Delilah about it. He said, hey, that Ted guy is bad news. Now Delilah doesn't know what to do because it's clear that Donna Jo is beyond infatuated with Ted. And she's now having a second child, but Delilah really is concerned about her sister and thinks that Donna Jo already acts like a single mom, so she might as well cut her losses and get rid of the dead weight, aka Ted. And Fancy Nancy went ahead and made dinner for the family. Donna Jo is coming over here to eat breakfast with Delilah and Clarence, served up by Fancy Nancy. Delilah's like, I really don't have much to say to my sister. She's talking to her father about gas prices, and they're both just ignoring the elephant in the room that Donna Jo is having another baby with Ted Mendoza. I don't think Clarence is a big fan of Ted either. He's not going to overstep and tell his daughters who to date, but he's like, I do want to see Donna Jo being treated better than she is. Yeah, I love how Clarence and Delilah are just totally ignoring Donna Jo, and they're just talking about those random current events to avoid talking about the issue at hand. Delilah is just very concerned about Donna Jo. She feels like she's just getting pregnant again and again just to kind of spite Delilah. And here's Donna Jo trying to hop in on the conversation. She's like, yeah, the smokestacks are so bad for the environment. And Delilah's like, okay, because she still does love her sister. And she's like, I'm not mad at you. I'm just like, want to shake you and be like, what are you doing? Now we have two little toddlers to take care of. Okay. Here's Ted stepping up for once and being a good dad, teaching Edward how to talk. That's a sweet moment. I guess it's a Sunday morning, 4 a.m., a rare day off work for Ted. Like I said, I think now that Campbell's retired, Ted is kind of being poised to take her place, which is funny that Ted and Campbell were both in the same career track, both kind of on similar career levels, but Campbell just seems much more put together than Ted. But I guess appearances are deceiving because as we learned from playing Dean's Family, Campbell actually had a lot going on. So now we just have this sweet moment of Fancy Nancy teaching Evie how to walk and Ted teaching Edward how to talk. Just two little cousins learning their life skills at 5 a.m. on a Sunday morning, early fall. So maybe Ted is stepping up to be a good dad, but he's still kind of stepping around on Donna Jo, not treating Donna Jo the best. And you can be a good dad and still a terrible partner. Donna Jo is insistent that she doesn't want to get married, but Delilah really doesn't believe her. Even though I don't think Donna Jo has rolled anyone to get married, I do see how from their upbringing, the stability of marriage might be nice for her. And then we have Delilah taking out the trash this morning. Delilah had to step out for fresh air. And here's Donna Jo. Delilah's like, oh my gosh, I cannot get away from her. She is everywhere. I just think their issues are really going to come to head very soon. There's some building tension between the two of them. Both sisters think they're in the right and the other is just very wrong, and they're sisters and I don't see that ending well. Like I said, they did have that issue when Delilah went to school before and Donna Jo kind of cut her off for a few weeks. And it looks like Fancy Nancy just taught Evie how to walk. Delilah headed off to work. She was like, thank God, I need to get out of this house for a little bit. And Edward also learned how to talk. Oh, and then both babies are going to play with their Mr. Rabbit. Fancy Nancy is bringing a bottle in. Aw, I love the two little cousins. Oh, I don't know why everyone's... Okay. Here's Anthony. He's gonna teach Evie some more skills. And then Ted and Donna Jo and Clarence are all outside fishing. Ted has work in about an hour. Donna Jo's trying to have a conversation with Ted about literally anything, but he's just looking at birds. It seems like he's in his own little world. He's not really listening to anything she has to say. And she's putting on a brave face, pretending that's fine. This is just their relationship, but you can kind of tell that she's starting to break on the inside. I do think Donna Jo is very, very jealous of Delilah, but she won't even really admit that to herself. So how is she going to admit it out loud? And then Clarence wants 20 grandbabies. I don't know how that's going to go, but again, we love the enthusiasm. And then Fancy Nancy and the butler are still trying to feed the children lunch. The kids really don't seem interested in the bottles right now, but they are trying breakfast and not lunch. And I didn't realize the butlers could teach them skills like this. I might have a mod in. I probably have a mod in for it, but that's kind of cool. I think those enthusiasm chance cards are so boring. I need to find something to like make them less common. I don't really care if they lose enthusiasm for their favorite hobby. I mean, it's nice to have them have their one true hobby and like be in the zone and stuff, but it's not essential. For my gameplay anyway. And there's Hot Dog just stinking up a storm. Oh my gosh. This whole nursery looks like a wreck right now. And Fancy Nancy is holding some drinks for some reason. Yeah, there's a lot going on. Bit of a chaotic scene in here. Okay, the drinks went away. We still have the gross baby bottles everywhere and a stinky dog. Now we got 2 dogs in here. Oh my gosh. How many people can we fit in this room? And then Donna Jo is gonna get started on lunch. She's like, why has no one cleaned up the table yet? I'm gonna make my like protein for me and my baby, some nice salmon. The gym Donna Jo works at has put her on maternity leave, so she doesn't need to worry about going to work right now. She can just stay home and prepare for baby number 2. See, the thing with Donna Jo is she's not even like a family sim either. So Delilah's like, what are you doing? You don't really want a big family, or just kind of having these kids with Ted just to have them, just to be like, oh, I'm having more kids than Delilah. Anyway, Delilah and Anthony are being very careful about raising their family. They do want to have a sibling for Evie, but they also want to make sure Evie gets all the love and affection she deserves right now. And Fancy Nancy is finally cleaning up the breakfast table for everybody. Donna Jo's helping out with dishes.
Hello, Messiah.
And then Clarence and Anthony are outside playing chess. Clarence really likes Anthony. They get along very well. Anthony put a ring on it. He proposed to Delilah as soon as he found out they were pregnant. They didn't rush and have a second baby immediately. They're married. He just seems so much more respectful towards Delilah than Ted is to Donna Jo. I think Clarence is just an old-fashioned family sim who at his core just wants his daughters to be married and happy. And I guess in Clarence's eyes, marriage equals happiness because he had such a great time being married to his late wife, Calliope. Just a quiet little Sunday afternoon, early fall. Anthony's gonna go check on his restaurant. In my mind, he doesn't own the restaurant, but he's like the top manager. He oversees everything. He makes a nice, pretty penny. I think down the line, probably the next few rounds, the family is going to buy a restaurant and start running their own restaurant. And here is Evie just dancing to the music. Toddlers can only do this autonomously. You can't make them dance, but it's so cute whenever you catch them just dancing. And now Delilah is home from work. The nice thing about being a nurse is she normally works like light shifts, like I think 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. So she's home to see Evie, and there's Evie coming out to greet her. Delilah's like, I do it all for you, Evie. Just a cute mother-daughter moment. And now Edward's dancing. I just realized I don't think his name is Edward. I've called him Edward the whole time. Ted is also home from work, and he brought a friend home, Tasha Go. Delilah and Evie totally ignored Ted when he came in. Delilah's like, I really have nothing to say to you. You just keep getting my sister pregnant, and you won't even call her your girlfriend. At least I guess he's offering a massage to Donna Jo. He's like, okay, baby, I know you're carrying our child. Your back probably hurts from carrying the weight of this relationship as well. And Donna Jo's like, yeah, thank you. And there's their son, poor little baby, is not being greeted at all because these two are just so into each other. At least Fancy Nancy, it looks like, is going over, or Clarence is going over. Oh, nope, Clarence walked right by him too. Someone please talk to this baby. Okay, the butler did it. And there's Donna Jo and Ted. Oh my gosh, okay. We lost a lot of friends. Yeah, we've been busy. We have a lot going on in this family, sorry. And Donna Jo's just like, wow, I have the hottest baby daddy ever. It's okay that he won't call me his girlfriend. And Fancy Nancy was like, you look so pretty pregnant, you are glowing, because Fancy Nancy is a girl's girl. I love seeing little Evie walk everywhere. And I don't know why Clarence is just haunting the house in his pajamas right now. Oh, and Fancy Nancy just tried to say hi to the little unborn baby. Donna Jo shut that down quickly. She said, my dad created you, but we're not tight. I guess Fancy Nancy is an extension of, like, the family. She is a kind of daughter to Clarence, but Donna Jo's like, I don't know you, you're my dad's project. Ted seems to have really bad issues with going to the bathroom. He's always on the verge of wetting his pants or wetting his pants and then going to work. Not sure how he managed to get so high up in his career. Delilah is thinking about Ted out here. She's like, I cannot damn that clown. I want him out of the house. And then Tasha Go just offered to set Ted up on a date because Ted told her he's single, and Ted said yes. And there is the little college girl that just came in, and she's holding hands with Ted. And Donna Jo said, "What are you doing?" Go off, Donna Jo. This has been a long time coming. Donna Jo said, "I don't think so. What are you doing?" She's still so attracted to him, but she just witnessed him cheating on her right in front of his face. This young college girl's right here. Donna Jo's like, "You need to leave." Tasha Go is so confused because Tasha Go thought he was single. That's what he told her at work. Clarence needed a nap. Clarence said that's too much. Fancy Nancy is frozen, holding that bottle. Everybody's kind of like in shock. That just happened. Clarence said, "I'm going to take a nap. I don't even know what to say about this." Donna Jo is thankful Delilah was outside when that happened, and Delilah didn't see it. Delilah's also taking a nap. So Delilah doesn't know yet, but it's going to get around pretty soon that Ted just blatantly cheated on Donna Jo. In their own home, he invited another girl over for a date, and he's like, "I don't see the big deal. We're not official." They had a kid together, and she is pregnant with their second child. They live together. Maybe marriage isn't for everybody, but he's not even being respectful towards Donna Jo. And she's like, "What am I doing?" For the first time, I think she's starting to think maybe Delilah's right. Maybe Delilah's not just trying to one-up me, but she is genuinely concerned about me. Ted tried to make dinner to, ease the tensions. He made some Kraft macaroni and cheese. It looks kind of mid. Doesn't look very good. That's about as much as Ted can make, but it's like, whatever. I like how Clarence was the first to sit down and just start eating immediately. I don't think it means he forgives Ted. I think he's just kind of like, Yeah, and everybody thinks Ted is handsome. There's no denying that. And at this point, it is clear that he has cheated on Donna Jo. Delilah is just mean mugging him from across the table. She really doesn't have anything nice to say to him right now. And she's talking to her dad about making up. She's like, "Do you think they're ever gonna make up?" And then she's like, "I would have hit him with a shoe." And then here's Donna Jo joining the table. Notice how she sits far away from Ted. She does not want to sit with him. And you can cut this tension with a knife. Clarence is somewhat oblivious, somewhat just trying to mend the tension. He's talking about jewelry and makeup, and Ted is listening intently and nodding his head like he knows any of this. I think Clarence is just like, if you have a daughter, you're going to have to spend so much money on jewelry and makeup and shoes. That's what I did. And Ted's like, if we have a daughter, I'll buy her a nice hat. And Delilah's like, really? Really? I think Delilah and Ted might get into it soon. And I think that is Leroy, who is sleeping on Donna Jo's bed. Delilah is gonna go ahead and clean up some mess in the dinner. Look, Donna Jo is just passed out at the table, and I think everybody left her. That's kind of sad that she's pregnant, and her whole family was just like, "Girl, I don't know how to help you if you won't help yourself. You're overexerting yourself and putting all your emotion into this, man. This man who does not respect you." And Donna Jo's like, "But I'm in love," and it's not love. And Ted's out here playing fetch with the dogs because the dogs are the only ones in the house who aren't really mad at him right now. And ironically, Ted is in the doghouse, so I doubt he'll be sleeping with Donna Jo tonight. He won't move out because he doesn't really have anywhere else to go at the moment. And also, I think he thinks he can mend this relationship with Donna Jo, and he's probably right. She probably will forgive him. Because right now, he's just trying to step up. He won't ask her to marry him or ask her to be his girlfriend or anything, but he's like, "I'll wash the dogs, and I'll make macaroni and cheese." I think Ted took a huge knock to his ego after Donna Jo called him out. He never expected she would do that.
Ah, Baba. Ah.
All right, y'all, and I think we are going to start wrapping things up for this episode. In the next episode, Donna Jo is going to give birth to her second child. We'll find out if it's a boy or a girl. We'll see if Donna Jo and Ted can mend their failing relationship. We'll see how Fancy Nancy continues to adjust to the family. There is a definite wedge growing between Donna Jo and Delilah each and every day. I think it's getting sharper and sharper now that Ted's cheated on Donna Jo and Donna Jo hasn't left him. Delilah's kind of like, girl, you have to set a good example of what love is and what love isn't to your children. And Ted cheating on you is so disrespectful. That's not what love is. Their parents never cheated. Like I said, Clarence didn't even remarry following the death of their mother. So yeah, Delilah's like, you need to do better, not just for you, but for the sake of your kids. And all Donna Jo is hearing is criticism on her relationship and her parenting. Again, I think Delilah is the most mature, despite being younger, and Donna Jo is perhaps the least mature of the three sisters. But that can also be attributed to all the childhood trauma she went to. She was the oldest and probably remembers the most about everything happening. Okay, guys, so stay tuned for part 2 coming up very soon. I'll see y'all next time. Bye.